And it is with a real honor today that I also announced that we have established, in conjunction with the establishment of the Crime Strategies Unit, a master service agreement with one of the preeminent institutions in the country, and that's New Mexico Tech. New Mexico Tech has been doing this kind of work both nationally and internationally in various contexts around the planet. They understand big data and analytics better than anyone in the state. And we thought it was only natural for us in the establishment of the Crime Strategies Unit to work with one of our best state institutions. And so we are going to be partnering with New Mexico Tech to develop applications and using their access to extraordinary talent, data scientists, computer scientists, to crack the code of crime and public safety in Bernalillo County. More importantly, if we can do it successfully here, these are tools and ideas and a strategy that can be implemented statewide. And it's our hope to use our experience in Bernalillo County to identify these hidden patterns and these hidden sort of trends in crime in this community, develop new systems and tools, and then be able to share what we learn in this community with the rest of the state.
It's truly an honor today to be able to be here at this moment. I think it's a turning point in dealing with crime in the state of New Mexico. Both Representative Thompson and myself can speak on behalf of the legislative body and tell you all that we have a direct interest not in just how this is going to develop and ultimately provide security across the state, and that's what's important for us. We start here in the central area and then move out across the state and try to solve problems. I'm particularly pleased to recognize that New Mexico Tech's coming in to offer that technical support in creating this program.
When I'm out knocking on doors, I say, what are your concerns? And crime is always the first thing. Always, always. My neighbor's car was stolen. My car was stolen. So this is really exciting. And I love that we're using homegrown New Mexico Tech instead of going elsewhere. I mean, when I sit on the Appropriations Committee and when things come in front of us, I frequently say, can we do this in New Mexico? Why can't we have these jobs here in New Mexico? And with this, that's exactly what we're doing. And so it's really exciting that we're going to be kind of stepping into the next big thing, and I'm very hopeful that things will turn around quickly in Bernalillo County, and then as Senator Cisneros said, take it throughout the state, and let's make New Mexico the best that it can be. Thank you so much.
But I think one of the most significant developments and the reason for the announcement today is really to focus on the power of our partnership with New Mexico Tech. New Mexico Tech has been doing this type of work in a very different context across the nation and around the globe. But this is the first time that they've been able to use every resource and all of their talent to focus acutely on what I think is the most important problem facing this community in this state, and that's crime and public safety. And so with that, I would ask President Wells to step forward and talk a little bit about what he sees coming from this partnership and what he thinks we can accomplish in this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, D.A. Torres. It's a real pleasure to be here. To me, the application of knowledge in the service of society is one of the greatest honors for an institution of higher education. And New Mexico Tech is very proud to partner with the District Attorney's Office in helping address one of the major problems facing our state and the citizens here in this county. What I'd like to do is give you a brief explanation of why we're here and how we came about in this partnership. There has always been this growing complexity in the field of infrastructure vulnerability, analysis and protection. We just heard about that last night with Microsoft being hacked. Also information assurance, information warfare, information operations. All that has made it essential for the U.S. Department of Defense and the U.S. intelligence community to develop and model, analyze, and manage complex systems. And as you heard from the example today, these are complex systems. With the goal of ensuring national readiness to address these challenges effectively, the U.S. government and the state of New Mexico sponsored and created a research center called the Institute for Complex Additive Systems, or abbreviated ICASA. And that was done in New Mexico Tech in the late 90s. It's one of our research programs that's sponsored by the state. ICASA has become a data science research and development center that's working on developing novel solutions to complex problems that face agencies, businesses, individuals, nationwide, and even worldwide. ICASA has demonstrated numerous proofs of concept that were applied to the evolving complex systems that represent the U.S. critical information infrastructures. The work at ICASA has allowed its customers to document new concepts, methods for addressing the vulnerabilities of virtually any evolving complex infrastructure, such as the ones we're talking about today. ICASA has been a strong partner with the nation's intelligence community for 17 years. We've done our proof there working with various agencies in Washington. So we're honored to stand here and work here in New Mexico to help our citizens and bring this knowledge and skill set to our state.
Who from New Mexico Tech will be assisting? Will it be students, will it be faculty, staff, and will it be on site here, or will it be conducting stuff?
I'll let the president talk. They will have working space inside the district attorney's office, I can tell you that.
It will be led by Michael Smith, who's director of ICASA. With his staff, we have one of our staff people here today to answer questions if you need. We hope to have students involved in this process because they are of great value and have great minds, so we're hoping that we can build that capacity as well. So it'll be directed by Michael Smith with his staff, involving probably some students on this.
And will it be from like the criminal justice department, or?
We don't have a criminal justice department, we just have scientific and engineering department. So, but as the DA pointed out, one of the most important things and one of the biggest challenges is that you have all this data, and most of it's what we call flat data. It's non-interactive, and again, I applaud the DA for recognizing you have to make that data interactive. You have to put it up in a way that you can start looking for patterns, because as flat data in boxes, you can't use that. And so, again, I think that's where Tech and our staff can help in this process. And once that data then is interactive, then you can start really doing some creative things with understanding systems and patterns within that. So, Dietrich, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, thank you very much.
One other thing that I'd like to share is that this again is something that is unique even among crime strategies units across the country. Most of those are built in-house. The Manhattan CSU is the oldest, it's the most established, but it works primarily on its own. The same is true for San Francisco. This, to my knowledge, is one of the first crime strategies units to rely and build from the beginning with a premier research institute. And what that's going to enable us to do is to use their experience to catalog all of the things that have been identified as effective tools. Those tools can be shared across the state and across the nation. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see New Mexico Tech hopefully consulting outside the state of New Mexico in years to come with major cities that are trying to deal with violent crime problems, and they can come and say, these are the tools that we helped establish in Bernalillo County and in Albuquerque to address this issue. The other thing that's, I think, critically important is the strategy that we're talking about isn't limited just to public safety. Think about addiction, think about mental health issues, think about the ongoing problems that we have with child abuse in this state. You can take and adapt these same approaches to looking at where are the emergency room and 911 calls for service happening, where are the CYFD referrals happening, what patterns exist in the data. And how do you link that information together so that healthcare professionals, behavioral health specialists, addiction treatment specialists can have a pinpoint map of the houses and the families in a community that might need assistance, so that it's not law enforcement. We're talking about it today from purely a law enforcement and prosecution and policing perspective, but this same approach could be adapted for the public health model, the mental health model, and the addiction issues that are also at the forefront of what everyone's thinking. So it's my hope that we can see this expand not just geographically, but we can start replicating these patterns and the use of data to address some of the larger issues. I want to thank you all for being here. Please let us know if you have any follow-up questions. This is an exciting day for the District Attorney's Office. Thank you so much.